All right, all right, shh. All right. So today we're going to continue. You may have noticed that on your test I didn't make you solve any equations yet. We're going to practice that some more before I have you do it on a quiz or on a test. But that's coming up. Now today we're going to talk about checking solutions and finding the number of solutions. So once you've solved an equation, it'd be really nice to know whether you have the right answer or not. You can check your answer by evaluating both sides of the equation at the value we found for the solution. For example, Jerry believes that the solution to the equation 6x plus 5 minus 2x equals 4 times the quantity x minus 1 plus 6 is equal to 3. Let's see if he's right or not. So what we'll do is we'll replace all of the x's with 3's on the left side. When we do, we get 6 times 3 plus 5 minus 2 times 3. And then we're just going to evaluate that. That's 18 plus 5 minus 6 is 23 minus 6 is 17. When we substitute it in on the other side, we have 4 times the quantity 3 minus 1 plus 6. We do it in the parentheses first. So 4 times 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 6 is 14. Those aren't equal. So 3 is not the solution to this equation. So you can always check whether your answer is correct or not if you can evaluate the expression at the value you have found. So let's go through these and solve the equation. And then after we're done solving, we'll check. So a lot of people will try to teach you lots of different things about how to do these. I'm going to show you what I do. If you want to do something else, that's fine. But like what happened to some of you on the part whole problems, you got all tied up because you didn't do it the way I said to do it. So if you want to go off on your own, that's fine. Just realize I do this for a very specific reason. I want you to do well. I mean, that's it. I want you to be able to do these problems well. So here's what I do. My first step is always to simplify both sides of the equation. There's nothing I can do to simplify either side on this particular one. My step after I've simplified both sides of the equation is to take, move x's around. So subtract any x's or add any x's that I need to. I always, if they're both positive, I'll just go, yeah, I'm just removing an x tile from both sides. So that I have 2x plus 4 equals 8. Once I have all the x tiles on one side, then I'm going to slowly but surely start moving everything else away. So I'm going to subtract 4 to get rid of this 4 tiles over here. So I'm subtracting 4 tiles. 2x is equal to 4. So each x is equal to 2. Now we're going to check. So 3 times 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 4, which is 10. And on the other side, 2 plus 8 is also equal to 10. So we know we have the correct answer. Okay. For part B, you can start by removing a y tile from the right side, but then you're going to have to remove it from the left side also, and there's not a positive one to remove, and you're like, what am I supposed to do when on one side it's a positive tile and on the other side it's a negative tile? Right? I can't just remove the same thing from both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add 2 y tiles to both sides. And the reason that I do that is I could remove a y tile from this side and remove a y tile from that side, but I would end up with a negative in front of the number in front of the y. That's called the coefficient. I try to end up with positives whenever possible. I don't know about you guys. I'm better with positive numbers than I am with negative numbers. Just you've had a lot more experience with positive numbers than negative numbers. So this is going to be 4 equals 3y plus 10. Now I want to move everything that's on the side that has the y away from it. So I'm going to subtract 10 tiles, which means I need to add 10 negative tiles to this side. 4 minus 10 is what? Negative 6 is equal to 3y. Divide both sides by 3, and I get y is negative 2. Let's check this. On the left side, it's 4 minus 2 times negative 2. That's 4 minus 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And what's 4 minus negative 4? 8. It's 8 because what's minus negative 4 the same thing as? Adding 4. This is 4 plus 4 is 8. The other side's actually easier. It's just negative 2 plus y, or should be negative 2 plus 10, and that's 8. These two are the same, so that is the correct solution. Okay, remember a moment ago I said the first thing I always do is simplify, and then I start moving things around. So I'm going to simplify both sides of this equation. So here, I'll just group the like terms. 5x minus 2x is 3x. And I have a positive 4. Equals. When you see this subtraction sign in front of a set of parentheses, think the opposite of everything that's in the parentheses. So the opposite of x plus 8 is negative 8x minus 8. I saw a couple of frowns on that, and some of you missed that on the test. When you have a negative in front of the parentheses, it's the opposite of everything that's in the parentheses. So just like I did on the last one, I want to get rid of the negative stuff, so I'm going to add an x tile to both sides. So I've got 4x plus 4 is equal to negative 8. I'm going to put 4 negative tiles on both sides so that this zeroes out. So I've got 4x is negative 12. Divide that by 4. And I get that x is negative 3. We'll check it. 5 times negative 3 plus 4 minus 2 times negative 3. So that's negative 15 plus 4 minus 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 15 plus 4 is negative 11. Minus a negative 6 is the same thing as plus 6, as we talked about just a moment ago. So that side, the value is negative 5. On the right side, we're going to have the opposite of negative 3 plus 8. So we're going to have the opposite of negative 3 plus 8 is 5. The opposite of 5 is negative 5. So it does check. Those are both the same. For part D, again, start by simplifying. Negative 2 minus 2 is what? Negative 4. Minus 3k is negative 2k. Oh, sorry. That's going to be minus 3k over there, isn't it, when I simplify? Because it's negative 2k minus k is negative 3k plus 8. I want to get rid of the negative on the variable part, so I'll add 3k to both sides. And I get negative 4 is equal to 8. I swear to you, every year when we do this, I'll put one like that on a quiz and someone will tell me that the answer is negative 2 because they divided both sides by negative 4. Does that make any sense? No, but it happens. Is this a true statement? This is very much false. So this has no solution. And since it has no solution, you can't check it. Anytime you've got something that comes out to be false, then there's no solution. What if it comes out to be true? We talked about it very briefly. Does anyone remember? What if we had done this and it came out and it said 8 equals 8 instead of negative 4 equals 8? That's true, right? It can what? It can be anything. That's exactly right. X can be any number. So if you get a false one, done. There are no X values that work. If you get something that's true and there's no X's left in it, it could be anything. All right. Moving on. So Sammy and Josephine each got a different solution to this. Sammy believes that the correct answer is 3, while Josephine is convinced that the correct answer is negative 5. Check each student's solution to see who is correct. To save ourselves some time, you and your shoulder partner each pick one of them to check. Okay? And so, Paul, you can come up to, oh, yeah, that's fine. You guys can be shoulder partners today. Okay? So, one of you check if the answer is 3. The other one check to see if your answer is negative 5. Go. So what you're going to do is you're going to replace every x with negative 5 and then evaluate both sides. Yeah. Yeah. You take negative 5 plus 2 is right. No, it happens. It's okay. This is why it's called learning. You don't get it right the first time every time. So let's see. Oh, 3 times 3 is what? So if you got that, what does it mean? No. It's right. It means that it's right. Right.
Like a negative 6.
Is it 3?
Is it negative minus? What is it negative?
Plus 2.
I got negative 8
Negative 6.
minus negative 2. Is that negative 6?
Negative 8 minus negative 2.
Wait, so I'm doing the negative 1.
Negative 6.
Okay, negative 6. Yeah. So negative 6. Josephine.
Huh? Yeah. I did Sammy or Levi.
Sammy is
Sammy.
I got x equals 0. I got
Wait,
negative
no,
6
you-
because
No, you did it.
saying
You know, you plug in their number.
that Sammy believes that the correct
You didn't know what they wrong.
yeah, like
Happens to
you put
Murgatroyd.
Sammy's number in.
Sammy is right there. That's what I got.
So
This is really I forget that you're not really old.
I'm not gonna
It's something that a cartoon character from, I don't know,
Tom and Jerry?
no, before that,
I'm trying to see like
I got 2.
Snagglepuss used to say that.
2 times 3.
Puss in Boots?
No, way before that. So who did you get? You got Sammy was right.
And he got. He said Josephine is right too, so he's sending Sammy.
I forgot to plug in the numbers, so I got x equals 0 somehow.
They're both right.
We're gonna do that in just a second.
They're both right, literally.
You think?
I mean,
Yeah.
he got.
I did both. I did.
Okay, so how many of you got that? Who was first? Sammy. How many of you got that Sammy was right? Okay. How many of you got that Josephine was right? And not enough hands going up.
Yeah, I got both.
I didn't
Alright.
even do both of them.
Let's go through and look. So let's check. Sammy believes the solution is 3. So we're going to have 3 times 3 plus 7 minus 3 plus 3. So it'll be 9 plus 7 minus 6. So that's 16 minus 6 is 10 on the left side. On the right side, we've got 2 times 3 plus 2 is 2 times 5. That's 10. They both came out to be 10. So Sammy's right. But several of you got that Josephine was right. Well, let's check Josephine's answer. It was x is negative 5. So that's 3 times negative 5 plus 7 minus negative 5 plus 3. That's a little uglier. That's negative 15 plus 7 minus a negative 2. This is negative 8 and minus a negative 2 is the same thing as? Plus 2, very good. So that's negative 6. On the right side, we get 2 times negative 5 plus 2. That's 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. What the heck? They're both right. We're going to skip part B just because we're a little short on time today. What do you think? Do you think Ted is going to be right also?
He's not.
You don't think he is? Oh man, I have a disbeliever. I've got to show you. 3 times 4 plus 7 minus 4 plus 3. It's okay. I tend to be someone who is disbelieving of things until you prove it to me. So that's 19 minus 7 is 12. Is that what you got? Oh, you haven't checked it.
No, I didn't.
You did? Oh, did you? Uh-oh.
Oh, he got it right. Yeah, Ted is right too.
And so it's 2 times 4 plus 2. So that's 2 times 6 is 12.
It's correct.
Disbeliever.
No, I did 2. I did 2 times 4 plus 4. Instead of 2 times 4.
Busty's not right.
Gotcha.
16 on the first one.
All right, so let's solve this equation and see what happens. I'm going to write it here because I don't have a lot of room. So 3x plus 7, well, I need to be able to see the equation at the same time, minus x plus 3 equals 2 times x plus 2. Let's see what happens. Remember, step 1, simplify both sides. Simplify things before you try and do anything complicated. So remember, when it's minus that parentheses, it's the opposite of everything that's in there. Negative x minus 3 equals, we haven't talked about this yet. but it's 2 times x plus 2. So if you have x plus 2 and you have that 2 times, what would you have? If you have x plus 2 and then you have another x plus 2, what do you get? 2x plus 4. We're going to talk more about that in a later lesson. All right, well, let's see. This is 2x plus 4 equals 2x plus 4.
0.
Well, if I subtract 2x from both sides, you get 4 equals 4. Is that true?
Yes.
So what does that mean?
0.
X is any number, not 0, any number. If you end up with, now if you subtract the 4 from both sides, you get 0 equals 0, but it's still true, right? If you get something that's always true, then it can be any number. All right, let's try checking some of these.
We had 11:01.
11:01 today? Gotcha. So we've got 11 minutes. Let's do a couple. We won't do all of them.
Let's do it.
Let's do like 2. All right. So I was solving all the ones on the front. Does it say check them? Checking your answers when possible. Okay, great. So what should I do first here?
Simplify.
Simplify. Can I simplify the left? No. Can I simplify the right? Yes. Join the like terms. I've got 4x minus 5. You know what's going to happen, don't you? Do you really need to go through and subtract the 4x to be convinced?
No.
This is always true, isn't it? So x equals any number. Pardon?
What would you check?
You could pick a random number and just, pick your favorite number
3.
and see if it's true. If you pick 3, it's 4 times 3 minus 5 equals 3 minus 5 plus 3 times 3. That's 12. Minus 5 is 7. Shh. We want to see if this comes out to be the same. This is 3 minus 5 is negative 2 plus 9, also 7. Huzzah. All right, let's try this one. Again, step 1, do what? Simplify. That's going to be negative 5x minus 7 is equal to negative 2x plus 5. If I want to get rid of the negativeness, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. I want to add so that I get rid of all the negative x stuff. Pardon? Add positiveness. Yes, exactly. So that's going to be 3x plus 5. Shh. Now what? Subtract the 5 from both sides. So it's negative 12 is 3x. We get negative 4 is equal to x. So let's check it. If you want to do both sides at once, you can. It would be like this. The opposite of negative 4 minus 4 times negative 4 minus 7 is supposed to end up being equal to negative 2 times negative 4 plus 5. There is a lot of negativeness in this. So that's going to be positive 4 minus 4 times negative 4 is negative 16 minus 7 equals negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8 plus 5. Let's see, this is going to be 4 plus 16 minus 7. Let's see if it really works. 4 times 16, 4 plus 16 is 20. Both sides end up being 13. Hang on a second. I'm going to pick one out. -2, -2. Let's do C. So, step 1, what should we do? Simplify. So, the 5x minus 7x is -2x. 3 minus 4 is -1. Here I get 2x minus 4x is -2x plus 1. Are those the same? No, can't quit yet. I'm going to add 2x. Got -1 equals 1.
False.
That's false, so there's no solution. And no checking also.
Yes.
We're just going to start D. We're not going to do anything else with it. Just as a reminder, when I have this minus in front of the parentheses,
Opposite.
it's the opposite of everything in the parentheses. So that's going to be what?
3x minus 2.
Plus 3x minus 2. And then I think you can see what's going to happen here. It's 7x minus 2 equals 7x minus 2. Might as well solve this. It's true, so
D is true?
what's x equal to?
Anything.
Yeah, any number.
These are minus parentheses, the opposite of what's in the parentheses. So it's plus 3x
Oh, it's the
minus 2.
opposite.
Yeah, so it's going to be plus 3x minus 2. Okay? All right, I do want to hand back your tests. Do not put them in your notebooks because not everybody's taken this yet.